this topic and conversation is, this is a good one. This is a really, really good one. Doing your best looks different every day. What does your best look like? What does your best look like? I know at times I can be extremely hard on myself. I compare myself to yesterday or to last year. And some days I really feel like I'm not doing enough. I do that in air quotes, enough. When in reality, I really am doing my best. And every day my best looks different. What inspired me to do this episode is really a couple weeks ago, I was really beating myself up about feeling like I wasn't working hard enough or growing fast enough in my business. And I quickly went into a really negative thinking spiral. I brought up how I was feeling to my partner, and I'm so grateful because she gave me such powerful advice. And she reminded me that I'm doing my best, and every day my best changes and looks different, and that's okay. So she reminded me to really remember the importance of being present today and to not compare myself to my past self, my previous self. So this was extremely helpful for me, which is why I decided to do a podcast episode on this topic, because I know that this is such an important reminder for everyone. Your best is not going to look the same as anyone else or how you were yesterday or 10 years ago. And we really all have different circumstances and lifestyles that affect what our personal best can be. And comparison can really take you down a negative thinking spiral really fast. So your best is a unique blend of your talents, skills, mindset, beliefs, and energy that belongs only to you and your unique journey. So your best might not only be the same as your best from yesterday or 10 years ago. I mean, life really does happen. Circumstances and unforeseen events happen. We grow, we change as we should. Some days are simply better than others. Some days we feel better, we have more energy. Other days we're exhausted, we might have lower energy. So this is really where giving yourself grace comes in. It's important to give yourself grace and trust that today you will do your best. And when you lay down at night, you fall asleep, you can actually say to yourself, you know what, I did my best today, no matter how it looks. One of the first things to do and to look at in this conversation is to acknowledge your inner critic. So to notice when you have negative thoughts about feeling like you aren't doing enough, or you're not creating enough, or working hard enough. That one comes up for me a lot. Or when you're beating yourself up for not finishing everything you wanted to do that's on your to-do list. Or if you had a hard day getting through everything that you had scheduled, maybe you didn't get through it all. Or maybe it was just a struggle, a challenge. This is where the yoga practice comes in. Allowing yourself to notice, to observe, to practice ahimsa, which is non-harming, and a parigraha, which is non-attachment with yourself. So this is really where we use our yoga practice. We use the tools that we've learned as yoga teachers. It is a moment by moment, day by day practice. The next thing to do to look at is to release comparison to others. This is a big one, releasing comparison to others and those around you. You are completely different from others. You lead completely different lives and you have different purposes in your life. You have different skills, qualities, different personality. Everything about you is different from anyone else around you. And so often we compare our year 1 to someone else's year 10, year 20. With doing that, you don't actually see the challenges, the time it took them, the effort it took for someone to reach their success. Even within that, you can't compare your year 1 to someone else's year 1. Because again, you are completely different. You're completely different people creating completely different things, and you have different purposes. So it's important to learn how to celebrate others in their success, to be happy for all the wonderful things that someone else is creating in their life, to allow someone else's success become inspiration to you. and allow it to show you that if they can do it, you can too. To remember that someone else's success is not your failure, and connecting to the abundance that is really all around you. It's already present. It's already here. To remember there's enough room for everyone. There really is enough room for everyone. The next thing here is to think about who you want to be today and not who you once were. This is huge for me personally. Every moment and every day, we have the opportunity to choose how we want to feel, to choose how we want to show up in the world, what energy we want to share with others, and really what we want to embody. And that's all a choice. So if you're stuck in the past and how you once were, you're not able to fully show up as the you that you truly are today. Life is full of change, constantly changing, constantly shifting. We are always changing, growing, expanding, and you can't be the same person that you once were. And you shouldn't be the same person that you once were. You should evolve and expand and change and grow. Releasing past self-comparison. You do not have to outperform your past self. So it's important to practice releasing the pressure to always be better than you once were. This is tough. So we do want to focus on growth, yeah. But if we're always constantly striving to become better, and push, then we're not able to be present with what is and how we are today in this moment. I think that there are periods in our life that we might need to grieve and mourn the person we once were. We shed, we grow, and I've definitely gone through phases where I've grieved how I used to be because my lifestyle has changed or I've grown and I can no longer align myself with what I used to do in my past. But if we continue to compare ourselves to the past, we can stay stuck. So maybe this is the successful, I do that in air quotes too, the successful past self with the impressive job, or the popular past self from college, or the popular past self with packed yoga classes, retreats, events, workshops, or the past you with a different body type that you're still trying to get back to. I hear that a lot in my teacher trainings. A lot of people have a goal of getting back to their flexibility they once had, or getting back to a certain weight that they once were at, or getting back to how their body was before they had a baby. And I get that, but we're not the same person. So we can never actually get back to how we were ever. So opening up our mind to allowing for new experiences and how we are today and how we're going to change in the future as well. We're not going to be the same in a year. Or maybe it's even the time that everyone else thought you were in your peak success and they shared comments or ideas or beliefs about your success, how people around you admired you deeply in that period, in that era of your life. It's not uncommon for public or outside perception of your peak moments or your period or era of your great success to actually be off base with reality and what you were actually going through at that time and how you were feeling in that time and period. It can be hard to maintain that level of success or keeping up with how others view you or viewed you in those times. And I think back to a period in my life where I was hustling my ass off. I was doing everything at once. I was teaching 200-hour teacher trainings. I was running retreats. I was leading workshops, special events, yoga in the park, public classes. I still had group classes on my schedule. I had private clients, and I was doing all of this at once. From the outside looking in, people kept giving me really positive feedback and raving about my success. But from the inside, I was actually slowly burning out or quickly burning out. I was exhausted, drained, and I felt like all I was really doing was working my life away. I wasn't enjoying the little things in my life. I wasn't playing and having fun. And of course, I was having fun because I love what I do and I love leading trainings and teaching yoga and being in community. But that's all I was doing. So I wasn't connecting to my life outside of that. I was really doing too much. And to this day, I compare myself to that era, to that period where from the outside, it looked like it was really successful, but from the inside, it wasn't sustainable and I couldn't keep up with it. So I've had to shift and change and lighten up my schedule, do less, which has been really hard for me. I noticed that I attach my worth to how much I've done or how much I'm doing or how much I'm creating and showing up in the community. So doing less is a practice for me. It's a challenge and it does feel good. And at times it's also really hard and I get in my head and I can go down a negative thinking spiral. So it is really important to be honest about the times that you peaked, or really looking at, were these really the times that you were the happiest? Don't base your current self or your future self on a peak era or period that was out of alignment or it didn't actually feel good, even if others thought you were crushing it. And if you do compare your past self to your current self, maybe look at when in your past you felt the best. When in your past did things feel like they were flowing with ease? You felt aligned, you felt grounded, you embodied the qualities that are important to you. So this conversation, again, it's powerful, it's important. I just wanted to pop in and give you this quick reminder that however you're showing up today, you really are doing your best. And as long as you can say that when you go to bed at night, no matter what your day looked like, you're doing perfect, you're doing great. Remember to give yourself grace and to celebrate yourself for doing your best, for showing up, for growing, for being committed to living a life you love. And just be kind with yourself. Be gentle. You got this. You're doing amazing.